Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Run It Back podcast. We are sliding into episode number 9 of the potty. If you haven't listened before, what we're doing today is a mini prediction pod coming up to UFC 245. So we drop these just before the pay-per-views. As per usual, we've got myself and my co-host Daniel. We're lucky enough today to be joined by our regular guests now, Mr. Stoney, and the Statman Kragos. They'll be introduced very soon. We're all going to run through our picks for UFC 245. And as per usual, we'll get to co and main, where we'll be picking the ending of the fight. So if you're looking to get a multi on, stay tuned. But first, introduce my co-host, DL. Well, what's going on?
Nothing really. The thing I'm super excited about is we've got regular guests.
How crazy.
I know.
Big time,
Who
baby.
would want to actually hang out with us for that long?
They're 3 episodes in, so they must be sticking around for something.
No, I think there's no money being exchanged. There's nothing like that. So the boys are here to stay, which is really exciting. But mate, I'm actually really excited for this card. I think it's really different for the UFC to actually drop the New Year's card, which is the card that I actually look forward to most of the time, because they usually stack that one and run a few belts at the end of the year. But I actually like this one because it's actually we're sport for a choice, because obviously we've got 3 belts on the line for this fight. Then it kind of opens up a little bit more for some big fights at the start of next year. Because what do we got? We got
Our boy Connor,
got Cowboy,
Fergie
Ferg, known by his friends, Fergie Ferg.
That's we tight, boy. Fergie Ferg,
We got Khabib, the Eagle. We got Jones as well.
Doozy fights coming up.
I actually think that could go either way. So there are 3 big fights already, and that's just what's been announced. So
don't forget Joanna.
Whoa, Joanna. We've got some big fights coming up.
We do.
Yeah.
I think because the Statman's jumped in, might have to give him a little introduction.
Who was it?
I think it was the stat man.
It was Craig.
Craig, we've actually looked after you this episode. Found out that the stats are quite popular on our podcast.
Oh, very nice.
And they love it. So what I've actually organised for you, mate, is a little extra stinger between your picks. So we hope you like it.
Cool. We can't wait to hear it.
We'll drop it before your picks, mate. We'll get that all organised for you.
Well, I think first but most foremost, you've introduced the Statman, but we've got another special guest in the studio. Mr. Stone, how are we?
Boys, it's great to be here, and SG live and in studio down in the mean streets of Sale. How are you feeling?
Mate, I'm feeling absolutely delicious to be here. I'm glad I'm not dialing in again like last time, but mate, the pod room is full of all the comfort, so I'm ready to lay down those wins on those predictions and get into it. So shall we?
Yeah, there's plenty of beers, and there's a nice bottle of American honey sit there.
Boys, before we get onto it?
We should.
We've almost hit some milestones, so I guess...
Yeah, the podcast is starting to kick along with listens, guys, which is good. So
couple of
feedback's
shots
starting
here.
to run in. And
Apologies, Kragos, for not being with us,
but cheers, boys. We've got a little shot of American honey ghost chilies. Spot on to kick us off our card. Damn, that shit
smooth.
fucking gets you right.
Sting.
Oh, it does sting at the end.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Craig, do you want to kick us off with the card?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's as you said, the year-end card. So they've stacked it to the gills. Not only is there 3 title fights, but the 2 feature bouts on the pay-per-view are also absolutely fantastic. And opening the card is Peter Yan and Uriah Faber going against each other.
All right, Craig, what's your picks, mate?
Obviously, it's going to be Uriah Faber kind of surprised me earlier this year coming out of retirement and actually beating a top prospect. But I think Peter Yan, he's much younger, he's faster, he's got youthful talent. I reckon he's going to take home the win.
And do we have a stat for this fight, Craig? Ready?
Absolutely.
Let me hit you with that.
Peter.
Let me hit you with that stinger. How's that, Craig?
I love it. Mate, that tickles me. That feels good. My stat for this fight, so Faber has had 4 bantamweight title fights in the UFC, and they were also his first 4 bantamweight losses ever. So
might swing a few.
Yeah, it's pretty tearful for the guy. I reckon if there was not a man named Dominic Cruz, I reckon Faber might have had the title a couple of times there. But unfortunately, we do live in the Dominic Cruz world, and Faber and Hannah Burrell as well kind of stomped on his chances to win a title. So, poor Faber.
California Kid's got a big following.
California Kid, he's 40 now. So, and Petty-Yarn is 26. So,
yeah, it's a tough one. Thanks, Craig. Stoney?
No worries, man.
Cragos, I'm going to dial you back in. Are you telling me that Uriah Faber is 0-4 at this weight class?
No. He's just in title fights.
Just in title fights.
Four bantamweight title fights, and his first 4 bantamweight losses were in those title fights.
I'm glad we clarified.
Yeah, no.
He was ready to go all in.
Mate, he's had a lot of bantamweight success, but when it comes to those title fights, he's lost, and he has since lost. I believe it was a Frankie Edgar. Oh no, that was at featherweight, but he has recently lost his first non-title bantamweight fight, and that was against who is it? This is stunning. It was against Jimmy Rivera.
Craig, you haven't failed to deliver, and I kind of agree with you on Peter on this prediction, but I think Ricky Simon would be absolutely frothing that you refer to him as a top prospect given his 0-2 in the last 2 matchups.
Burn.
For nostalgic...
Sorry, Ricky.
Mate, he was a top prospect before Uriah Faber knocked him out.
We are talking in past tense. For nostalgic reason alone, I'm on Uriah Faber just because I love the man. A quick story here. I was at the UFC Fan Expo maybe 4 years ago. Uriah Faber was up on the podium. The security said, all right, Uriah's got to go. No more autographs. Uriah walked past a line of maybe 100 people. And I said, mate, how about a quick photo? He burst through his security, got a quick selfie, and then said, have a great weekend. I said, thanks for coming. It's been great. So, Uriah Faber, I can't tip against you, mate. Let's get the job done.
That's a doozy story.
Awesome.
That was a bit full on for me, but I liked it.
I liked it too.
So, can I go next?
Mate, you can go next.
Thank you.
As you open a beer.
Thanks. So, I'm going to go against Cragos for 2 reasons. One, because he's 0-5.
Oh.
And then 2...
We'll talk about that soon.
Yeah, we will. 2, look, I think even though Faber's coming back from retirement, he's been keeping busy. He's been doing a lot of jiu-jitsu matches. He's been keeping busy in the grappling world. So I think that experience and watching his matches in the grappling kind of world at the moment, he's still got what he needs to get this done. So I think California Kid's going to get it rolling, and victory for him. First up.
Well, I'm straight on. I'm not mucking around here. Uriah Faber is no chance. Uriah is absolutely no chance. I know we're not predicting what's going to happen in these fights, but it's going to be a stoppage in round 1. I'm a big fan of the California Kid.
It doesn't sound like you are.
No, I do. A lot of the times I've invested money into this boy. I think I'm on what Craig is saying. I just don't see a 40-year-old beating this 26-year-old up-and-comer. You can call him an up-and-comer, but he's 13-1, so he's not even up-and-comer. He's seasoned. Yeah.
At this point in his career, Uriah Faber was only 10-1, so Petty-Yarn's already
past that.
He's throwing these.
I love it. So, Yarn, for me, I think we should move straight on to the next fight, Craig.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, as I said, the title fights are the glittery jewels, but the fights underneath them are killing it as well. Marlon Moraes and Jose Aldo.
Damn, we're spoiled. This
bantamweight debut for Jose.
I'm worried about.
Do you want the facts first, or do you want the?
I'm worried about.
What's that?
I'm worried about Aldo probably passing out before he gets into that bloody scale tomorrow or whenever it is. He looks so bad.
The 5-fight pay-per-view card is sick, and there is some okay fights on the undercard. But I'm likewise worried that we won't get Aldo versus Marlon Moraes just because.
Has anyone seen a picture of him in the last couple of days?
He looks.
That was from a week ago. That photo.
Yeah,
that photo of him, you could
too.
see all his veins on his stomach, everywhere
Mate,
across his chest,
in his knee as well, just popping out.
And that's before he'd even start stripping the weight for. He's not. What is this? Is this 135?
135, man.
So
famously had issues with the cut to 145 as well. Nearly died at the press conference at UFC 129 when he fought Mark Hominick. He had to leave a press conference to go rehydrate because he was cutting so much weight.
Have you
And that was
guys?
for featherweight.
Have you guys ever just thought he's just shredding for summer? I just put it out there.
It's winter in Brazil.
Maybe he's coming down under. Let's hook into these predictions. Enough about Aldo's weight. Who's going what? Craig.
I'm just worried about him.
Hit
That's
me.
all.
Oh, I like this. Get it.
The stat today for this fight, Aldo has been around forever. He's been fighting for 15 years. The dude's only 33 years old. And he's kind of one of those legends where, I don't know, I've always expected him to be much older. Even when he came into the UFC, he was only 25, 26. And he already had a huge career behind him. So that's my fact today, because I looked him up and I saw that he's only 33 years old. If he doesn't lose his chin over the next couple of fights, potentially fight for much longer, but he's got 15 years of fight age on him, and I think that is starting to slowly show. Aldo's a dangerous fighter. Mariah is a bad man to fight in your bantamweight debut, and again, we're not doing predictions on the finish. Head kick KO from Mariah, I think.
Boom. Nice. Stoney.
So I haven't got a chance to see Jose Aldo myself, but for what it's worth, I'm here in UFC, have no concerns whatsoever about Jose Aldo's state. They're happy with where he's at in the weight cut. I do agree with Craig that I think it's a Marlon show. I can't see Jose possibly winning this fight. Many years ago, Conor McGregor said that I'm going to change your face and end your career, and honestly, that's what's happened to poor old Jose in the last couple of years. Since that 13-second knockout, he hasn't looked the same. Granted, he's fought some absolute up-and-comers, but I see this as being a fairly one-sided fight. Marlon, all in on for me.
What's Aldo had? How many wins has Aldo had after that kind of knockout? I think he's only had one.
Yeah,
One.
Fuck, how many years is that? 4.
It was against Frankie Edgar too, which is devastating because I love that fight.
Hang on.
Yeah, damn.
Dale?
All right. Want me to go?
Yeah.
There's a little part of me that just thinks all the negativity, and I started it by talking about his weight. There's just a part of me that just has this comeback, and I'm like a sucker for a comeback story. But you know what? I'm going to put my money into Aldo. I know this is risky, but there's just this part of me. I always get stuck into a story, and I said this on the last couple of podcasts. I always love a story, and I feel like, and that's why I asked about how many fights has he won since Conor, and he's only won 1. Can you imagine what happens to Aldo's legacy if he gets up?
Agreed.
Like he's already a Hall of Famer, yeah?
Yeah.
So he's a walk-up Hall of Famer. He was, how long was he unbeaten for?
He did lose a fight in Brazil earlier on in his career, but
What, when he was
past the
7?
UFC, pretty much that. But he ran undefeated until he ran into Conor McGregor. So
I like this story. Maybe 135. Maybe 135 is his new calling.
Do you know what?
I'm taking Aldo.
And I firmly agree with you.
Shorty!
So my take on it is Aldo's going to get the win. From my perspective, too experienced, Hall of Famer, but the dedication and work ethic it's going to take for him to get down to this weight class and get down there healthy, which by reports of other fighters, he's doing well of getting there. I don't see him not getting the win. Like, you don't drop that weight and you don't put in that determination, that daily grind to go there and get beat like the other boys think he's going to get beat. I think he's going to get up, and he's going to get up by KO.
Not like it's like, especially with Stoney saying that he's on that weight. Like the UFC has no problems with the weight cut. Like you would. I was worried because I saw that photo, but like no one has said Aldo's struggling.
Wow. Fire within, dedication.
no one's seen him.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
no
have.
one's
There's
seen
photos out. There's photos out.
He's a fucking ghost this week.
Craig.
No.
Craig,
Boys.
I haven't seen you get a bloody pickup yet, but I still believe in you. Jesus.
That's not the thing you've ever said to me.
Well, that's coming up. We're talking about that
Boys,
soon.
can I jump in here?
Go. Have we got some breaking news?
Not yet. You just park that thought.
I got so
SG.
excited then.
Just before we went to air, we were talking about our analytics and how the podcast is going. We've got 96 followers. Since SG and DL gave that prediction, 10 people have unfollowed us.
Oh, unfortunate.
So
That's not really.
I'm gonna
It's not right.
I'm gonna throw this out, Cragos, on behalf of you and me, who are on Team Marlon, versus DL and SG, who are on Team Jose.
Go Brazil.
Whoever wins this hosts the next PPV podcast.
Nah, Jose's got to be over.
I know. I think that's a fantastic.
I think it's
idea.
fantastic, Craig.
He's just added an extra element to the bet.
No, we didn't.
We said fight night.
I said
Cragos.
Dana White.
The boys have backed down. Let the record show the boys have backed down from that one.
Do you know what? I'll take.
I will take it, right? But
Yeah.
but we cannot give up the Connor card.
Nah, surely not.
That's a jewel in our crown. We're planning something big for that
What
podcast.
happens if you guys lose?
Oh, you guys.
Cragos,
you guys-
if we win,
Yeah.
we're going to host the John Jones
Yep.
and Reyes
Yep.
PPV.
Dominic Reyes. Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, we can do that. Absolutely.
Guaranteed. Did you hear that?
Craig, that means you need to be in the studio.
Oh, I can do
Yeah.
that.
If you guys lose, you have to refer to me as King Gregory and DL as King DL. Every single podcast until this podcast ends.
I'd really like you to wash my feet too.
I mean, challenge accepted.
Serve me beers. Serve my beers.
So Cragos,
Wash
be in
my
the
feet.
studio for John Jones and Dominic Reyes because that's what's happening.
Sweet.
Oh, will be. I've booked my flights just now.
Yes, boy.
Excellent.
So we've got 3 main fights here with belts. So,
Coco, man.
but we thought what we'd do is just a quick reflection on 244. But just to recap, Daniel and Stoney, 3 out of 5. Not bad. Not bad. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate that. I don't have any clap sounds on the things. All I've got this.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Dana, 60 G's, baby! I think someone is calling.
And Sean, you got 2 out of 5.
Thank you very much.
So Sean will give you a little bit of.
Shut your fucking mouth, you'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing.
And this is awkward. Craig, did you get any wins?
I got a moral victory. That counts.
Explain the moral victory.
I don't know. I think I had black boy fun of winning that fight with Derek.
No,
Lewis.
Craig,
I don't know.
too bad. Stop it, mate.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfucker.
You're terrible, son.
Oh, do you know the best thing about that? He goes, I got a moral victory. And you go, explain it. He goes, oh, I don't know. I can't actually recall.
Nothing. I was watching 244 as it happened, and
You've been crumbling like an apple crumble.
It was devastating. And then Jorge Masvidal came out and fought the fight of his fucking life, and I was like, Jesus Christ, my. Yeah, no, it was
I lost some
was
cash
rough.
on that too.
Yeah, same.
5-leg multi. I went 5-leg and I took heart for Diaz and got done.
How are you feeling about that fight and that finish?
Yeah,
We've
it's
got- had a
obviously
month
disappointing
to
for it to finish
reflect.
like that, but it was a good fight. It probably deserved to finish like that. You get cut, you get that chance of getting it done. So
He's been cut there before, but it was. If you're a ref, you can't let that go. It's
It
just
was heinous. Like, it was flappid, man. It was,
let's turn it around, right? Just say Alistair Overeem's fight.
that was
Just say a ref let that go, and you had to watch that lip float around for the next fucking 30 seconds. You couldn't do it, and that's the same.
No.
That's the same with Nate. Nate was split.
yeah, he's gone.
Like you got to go. If you're a ref, you got to go. Shit, dude, you could lose your eye.
From a fan's perspective,
Also, he was
pretty shit,
comprehensively losing the fight as well. The Overeem one, you could even make the argument he was up three rounds heading into the last 10 seconds.
100%, Cragos, you've nailed that. And DL, can I just run back because I was here with you live? Was that what you were saying when the fight was stopped, when they called the Nate Diaz fight off?
No.
What do you mean?
I mean, I remember DL being outraged, jumping over the couch, crashing through the table,
Yeah, that was as a
saying
fan,
this is
so
a
you-
bullshit
all right,
stoppage.
fan perspective.
Okay, all right. I thought you were talking about the podcast, not something we were doing personally to watch the fight. So you stitched me up there, you prick.
Hey, speaking of stitch-ups, SG's outlaid that he lost a lot of money on...
You come fucking prep for this podcast.
A lot of money on that fight, which is interesting because we had 96 followers. It's down to 86 because they all tipped Aldo. But a few fans have asked for some advice on who to tip, and a few had some constructive criticism. Some of that
Do you
criticism,
need a
SG.
dictionary?
Some of that criticism, SG, was directly squared at you, and I have to say it's valid. by the time the actual card come around, you lodge some lofty predictions and then apparently bet against those own predictions, completely undermining the integrity of the Run the Back podcast. Now over to USG. Surely that's not the case. Tell us that's not the case.
Sure, that's not true, is it?
That's not true, Shaun. Come on.
It's called a cover bet.
Oh my god.
And,
We're down to 76 volts.
Fucking hell.
I actually forgot who I tipped.
As I said, this is just an allegation. Rather than judge or jump the gun, I want to.
Because it's true. I forgot who I tipped.
That's terrible.
Man down, man in distress. Let's move on to the next fight. Craig, who we got next, mate?
Craig, you want to kick off our co-main?
Wait, just
Co-main.
before that, Sony's throwing out follows. Just got another follow. Shout out to House of Hardcores. Thanks for the follow, boys.
Yeah, thanks.
We need it. If you got any friends, tell them.
Oh, shit. Craig, hit us.
You'll need to start streaming live so we can get this going.
Guys, we are heading into the championship fights now. We've got the women's bantamweight championship, Amanda Nunes versus Jermaine Durandamy. Oh, let's go with the facts first up.
All right,
So
Craig.
I want to hear it. I love it. So Jermaine Durandamy is 46-0 in pro kickboxing. She's got 30 KOs. And she started off her MMA career 0-1 with her first round submission loss. So imagine going from the peak of pro kickboxing, considered one of the best in the world, and just coming in and gets submitted in the first round by an armbar.
The Iron Lady. I didn't see a lot of Jermaine Durandamy's fights. So actually going back through her fights, she's dominant. She's absolutely dominant.
She hasn't fought a huge amount in UFC and Strikeforce. So
Yeah.
I feel like she's probably going to be most known for winning the featherweight title and getting stripped of it because she turned down the Chris Cyborg fight.
Yeah.
So that's probably what she's going to be, which is unfortunate because outside of getting dominated by Amanda Nunes in their first fight, she's gone 5 straight since then with 3 finishes. She's a good fighter, and she's brutal when she fights. So
Yeah, a lot of those highlights are very old looking highlights. So
she fought on Playboy Fight Night 5.
Yeah, wow.
In her second MMA fight.
That's
so
crazy.
You can judge that.
I think with the one that I saw, I watched the UFC countdown during this week, and they had because she must have. I think it was maybe, I'm actually not too sure what it actually was, but she has already had a fight with Amanda Nunes before.
Yeah. Fight for the troops. It was, she got dominated basically.
It was.
I believe it was a first round finish.
Craig, you got your tip?
My prediction for this fight in particular, I think that this is probably the easiest pick on the main card. You've got Durandamy, who has some good wins over Holly Holm. What was the most recent fight that she had? Aspen Ladd, she defeated in 16 seconds. Amanda Nunes
early stoppage. Sorry.
Yeah, she's top 2. But Amanda Nunes submitted me. She KO'd Ronda Rousey, Cyborg Sandos, Holly Holm, won the titles in bantamweight and featherweight consecutively. I think it's an easy choice here. Nunes is the greatest of all time female fighter. She wins this early, she wins this easily, and she looks fucking dominant doing it.
Nice. Stoney.
Cragos, I cannot disagree with any of that. The one thing that concerns me is I've seen a lot of photo shoots this week about Amanda Nunes posing on a farm with goats, and that just concerns me.
Goats? Yeah.
Because she's the goat.
I knew it.
She's the goat.
Don't get me wrong, she is a fantastic and possibly the greatest, unquestionably the greatest female of all time, possibly the greatest fighter of all time. But it always disturbs me when they do that in the week leading up to the fight, which makes me think that maybe GDR just has a chance. But I can't put my prediction there. I think Nunes, I think a stoppage, something just doesn't sit quite comfortably about those photo shoots.
Do you know if those photo shoots were taken this week or...
Well, they've been released this week, and that's what makes me nervous.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Sean.
Who wants to go first? Who wants to go next? Now, we're basically running this pod at the moment. So Sean, how
So
about you?
it's like we've already
Sean-
won the bet, and we're hosting this podcast, Craig.
We're live on
Run it
Instagram,
back,
boys.
podcast.
We're live on Insta
Live.
right now. We're killing it.
We want to prove that this is actually a proper podcast. So Sean's there. It
The
is.
pod room's on.
There it is.
So, boys, my prediction pretty easy for me. Nunez. I don't see her getting beat, to be honest. So I think she'll go and clear this house pretty quickly. Title fight for her. She's not going to lose this one. And I don't think I see a loss for her in the near future, let alone the long future, to be honest. So, DL, what do you got?
Who, Amanda Nunes, are you saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Are you saying you see a loss?
I don't see a loss in the near or long future for her.
Yeah, I agree
At
with
all.
that. I agree with that, mate. Look, it's going to be Amanda's fight. What have you got in the last fight? She knocked out Cyborg.
Oh, man,
So,
a doozy knockout too. Who
Yeah.
thought that was going to come about? No one.
no one.
You even see
Good
Dana
beat,
White's
man.
face on that. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
So,
Crazy.
look, well, I'm taking Amanda Nunes on that one. I think what I'm really excited about to see is like that's going to kick off a really, really good part of the card. So I think one thing we haven't all picked is our finish, as this is a co-main
co-main, yeah.
event. So
Oh, shit.
we'll run back through the room, which is no worries. But I'm actually taking this as a first round knockout.
Nunez, first round knockout.
Yeah. Craig, what have you got to finish this one, mate?
Yeah. I think first round KO, TKO is part of the course. I think that's how the first fight ended. I think Jermaine Duranby's gotten better. I think Nunes has gotten better by a factor of 30. Like she's a different Nunes than she was when she fought Jermaine Duranby the first time. So
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's a
definitely first
totally
round
different
finish.
beast. Absolutely totally different. Stoney, you got to finish this one.
Second round KO. First round's going to be a bit of a feel-out process. It all comes to an end in round number 2.
Look, unfortunately for me, I would agree with Stoney. Round number 2 knockout.
All right, let's kick on to the co-main. Craig.
so we've got Max Holloway versus Australia's own Alex Volkanovski.
Get it, son.
My fact for the day. Keep calling them my facts.
Nah, it's
They're kind of
stats,
facts.
bro.
They're
It's
kind of
stats.
It's gotta be stats.
It's
Like
definitely stats. Definitely
just
stats.
take me saying
You're not the facts
stats.
man. You're
Hang
the
on, mate.
stats man.
Just hear it again, bro. God, that's going to actually...
Just take me, say the word stats here, and
Stats.
just copy it and put it over the place where I say facts. The 10, 15 times I've said it this fucking podcast.
Look, Craig, we can do a bit of post-production on that, mate, and slip your voice
Hey,
in there
we're
if you
all
really
live.
want
We're
to.
all live.
I didn't think you were going to get so sensitive about it. So,
We've got a Bruce Buffer. We are live. Is that
oh, we've got this one. Terrible for Instagram live followers because you can't hear that.
Beautiful.
But it was Bruce Buffer. Craig,
My
Hit
stats
us.
for this one here is Max Holloway with a win will overtake GSP, Mighty Mouse, and John Jones.
oh
For
wow,
the second longest win streak in UFC history at 14 wins.
oh wow.
Anderson Silva is number 1 with 16, but Max Holloway will become number 2.
Craig, is that true?
No, that is not true. Because Max Holloway lost to Dustin Poirier. Craig's stats is incorrect.
Whoa! Controversial.
I called myself out there. I'm
You
saying, hang on a sec.
did. I
Just as well, because we were about to pounce.
Yeah,
Craig.
we
we
were-
were ready. We were
we
like
were all
lions in the wildebeest. You were separated from the herd, and we were going to jump on that.
Bro, we're all looking at each other going, that can't be right. That can't
Craig's
be right.
stats.
Craig's stats.
Max Holloway had the second longest win streak in UFC history over John Jones to Joseph. Yeah.
Can I help you?
Yeah, mate.
Hang on for a sec. Daniel Stats. Max hasn't
Yeah.
hasn't had a fight for 4 years in Vegas. So Max he's been fighting everywhere else except for Vegas in the last 4 years. So Craig,
Who
I'm
was
going to help
that?
you out with Daniel Stats for this one.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. I see what you did.
Was that was on the Aldo McGregor card? Yeah.
Oh, look, I only have like surface facts, mate. I don't care.
No, I've got to try and get my stat clout back somehow. I
don't-
think it was on the McGregor card.
I don't, mate. Full respect to you. Don't worry about it. It's all good. All right, Craig. What are you taking?
I love our hometown hero, as everyone who listened to the the podcast in Melbourne both, but I ended up picking against all Australians, and it's not going to change here as well. I'm going Max Holloway.
I'm going to lose some money if Craig's tipping.
I think Alex is a slightly heavier-handed version of Frankie Edgar, but he doesn't have the same boxing technicalities, like the same boxing styling. Max Holloway handled Frankie pretty easily. This could have been a Craig stat, but Alex actually has the longer reach than Max, but Max does use his reach far better and should be able to keep it on the outside.
Craig, you're breaking up there, mate, so... Alex the Great is absolutely Max Holloway's worst nightmare, and this is going to be the fight.
We didn't get what his finish was, though.
I don't care. He broke up. He broke up. Did he not hit the static?
Craig, finish your finish, sorry.
Hey, dial up, Craig. He fell
TKO
for
in the fourth round. Fourth round TKO.
Dial up, Craig.
That got intense quickly.
Dial up, Craig. That's so good.
Boys, Alex in the second. This is going to be a finish, and it's going to do Australia proud. So, Alex the Great, bring it home, buddy.
Easy. Sean?
Yeah. Look, I am with Alex the Great as well. I can't go against the boy, to be honest. Got a great goosey about him, as you've seen in training camp. Goosey, highly aroused.
Is he a Wollongong boy?
He is from Shell Harbour, I'm pretty sure. Played in Group 7. Serves me right. I've probably played him in rep footy a couple of times. Got him on the premiership scale, but no biggie.
How many flags did Alex win?
1.
Sean Gregory?
2.
Oh.
Take it, baby. So, guys, we're going to go Alex Great. I'm going to go... I think this is almost going to go the distance. And I am going to go 5th round submission.
Ooh.
Oh, I felt nervous saying that out loud, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Ooh.
I think that's ridiculous.
That's horrendous.
Are you going to promise like a nudie run if you get it wrong like the last couple? Or?
Yeah,
I know, you're going to promise a nudie run if you go 0-5 again? Or?
Craig, just promise it, because here on the run it back, SG owes us 2 nudie runs. He's delivered none. That's just how we roll. So
I haven't claimed any. Actually, I'm just going to go. I'm going to go 5th round. I'm going to go. It's going to go the distance, and Volkanovski get on points.
Yeah, look, I'm exactly the same as Sean on that one. Now Sean straightened himself up. Alex the Great, I'm going to get him on decision. I think he's... Look, Max is aggressive. Max is someone that strikes often, but Alex is one that doesn't back up. Like, he doesn't back up. He just keeps pushing forward, and so does Max. So there's got to be a point where...
Neither does Frankie Edgar or
That's the thing. That's the thing. They don't.
you're breaking up again, Craig.
They actually don't. But that's the thing that really excites me for it, because I think that this is going to really challenge Alex. And the thing that I really like about Alex is that he knows what he wants and he'll go after it. He's got tremendous passion. I love following his story. He's fantastic. I love the little fact, and I was watching UFC Countdown throughout the week, him being at 97 kilos as a front rower in rugby and now fighting at 66 kilos is just ridiculous. So, look, for someone to have that much discipline, to go from one professionalism in that rugby sense to put on a 97 kilo frame, play front row, drop down to 66 and be dominant in his weight class, that Max being an absolute champion, and I love Max, like absolutely love Max. He's a great fighter, and I'd be on him 99% of the time. But I love the heart of Alex Volkanovski.
Do you know what I like?
I'll tell you what, I'd be okay. I'd be happy enough if I was wrong. I do like Alex Volkanovski. I don't see it happening.
Look, what I like about him is that I played halfback at a ringing wet 85. Didn't want to tackle anyone. And this bloke's gone from front row to UFC almost champion. So I'll take him any day of the week. If he tackled someone on the football field, he's winner in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I'll go for decision on that one. I'm going to back with Sean and take that decision, because I think there's going to be a point where Max might be overwhelmed. Probably not
used to his style.
Not prepared for someone of Alex's stature to take it up
challenge
to Max.
him, yeah. I reckon it's going to be very similar to Ortega fight, but I reckon Alex will take it longer than Ortega fight. That was doozy for the first 2 rounds.
It's amazing.
And I thought he was going to keep going, but I think
he just kept picking him apart.
Goes to 5, yeah.
Cool.
So, wait, what? Can you hear that before we get into the 5th? What? Oh my God, it's not happening.
Breaking news with Stoney.
We've got some breaking news, baby. Stoney, hit us up.
Boys, we have got plenty of breaking news as always. So this week on the runner back, Anthony Rumble Johnson is in the news.
Ooh.
What do you think, SG? A fan? Anthony Rumble Johnson? Yes? No?
I do like my boy, but, not my favourite, but I'll take it.
I'd like to see him back in.
Okay. Currently weighs around 230 pounds.
Ooh, he's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
Not bad, good sauce.
But it's just one good weight cut away from 205 pounds.
Oh.
Which sets up a doozy of a fight.
Oh. Oi.
Johnny Bones Jones, should he get through Dominic Reyes?
Levels?
Highly aroused, but I think Jones gets that done any day of the week anyway.
Do ya?
Can't
100. You can't take against the boy.
Really?
Anthony Rumble Johnson at 230 pounds. Imagine the cardio on that boy. He'd be buffed out walking out to the cage, man.
At 205,
He
though?
gets gassed a minute into the first round.
Nah, I think he's got nothing against Jones. Jones will just take that
Nah.
W. Just put it in the pocket,
Agree.
baby. Put it in the pocket.
How many rear naked choke losses does Anthony Johnson have? Because he's about to have one more.
2.
This fight doesn't look that great if Dominic Reyes gets his way.
Hey, it looks terrible if Dominic Reyes gets his way. But does anyone, I know this is the next runner back, but just long-term forecast, does anyone see Dominic Reyes beating John Jones? Just in a word. DL, you go first.
Yeah, I absolutely think that's possible.
That's more than one word. SG.
Incorrect, false.
Oh, that's 2 words.
Nah, so correct.
Kragos.
No.
Okay, let's roll into this main, baby.
Let's go,
Hey,
Craig.
guys, hit me with the stats, baby.
Let's hit us with the card, then we'll hit us with the stats.
Same thing.
The main event, welterweight title fight, Kimura Usman versus Colby Covington. You may know him as Marty Usman or Marty Fake Newsman if you're a fan of Colby
Boom.
Covington.
Which we all are.
Funny, but no, we're not.
I don't
Well,
know.
yeah. I was going to say, really? Craig's stats for this fight. Despite the fact that Covington constantly is going hard after Usman, they actually share a few similarities. Both fighters are 15-1 in their MMA career. They both got one loss in their record due to a rear naked choke submission in the first round. And in the last 3 fights, both fighters have fought and beaten Damian Maia and Rafael dos Anjos. Very, very similar built fighters as well. So I think it could be a mirror match here.
I like it.
Baby, well, look at their records.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Good
Stoney.
stats.
As far as my prediction,
Wait,
I
1
think
second,
Usman is
Kragos, before you get in the
Yeah, mate.
prediction, it's main event time. Kragos, hit us.
beautiful. Obviously,
Oi, Craig, show a bit of emotion.
Yeah, get aroused, mate.
it is time indeed. It was good. It was good stuff. I actually heard it, so it was nice. Usman is ridiculously talented, 10-0 in the UFC. I'm not a fan of Covington's character or the persona that he's put on, but I was just thoroughly impressed by him in his last fight against Robbie Lawler. Kind of got me on the train. I reckon Covington takes the fight by unanimous decision.
Yeah, he was relentless in that fight, eh?
It was ridiculous. Most strikes thrown in.
Yeah, I was
in
going
a
to say,
UFC fight ever.
wasn't that a record?
Yeah, 560 odd strikes. It was fucking crazy.
Boom.
Stoney, what do you got? Oh, sorry, Craig. What was your
The finish.
finish? Sorry, mate.
Covington by decision, unanimous decision.
Thanks, mate. Stoney.
Colby Chaos Covington from one Republican to another. Take that belt back to the White House, boy, because that's how it's going. Kamaru Snoozeman, Marty Fake Newsman, whatever your name is, we don't care. We're going to the White House, baby. Boom.
I'm so disappointed I don't have a Trump sound effect on my...
Was that a Donald Trump sound effect you're talking about? I think it was.
Do you want to play the sound effect for that? Ready? Just click the button. Fake news, boy!
Shut your fucking
Fake
mouth, you'll
news!
do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing.
Oh, so that's clearly fake news. Boys, I am going firmly against you both, going Kamara. I think from a perspective from the last couple of fights, He's going to take that win. He's going to take it cleanly. He's got the heart. He's got the purpose. I'm going to go that win, and I'm going to go a third round TKO. Talk to me, baby.
A third round TKO.
Correct.
Oh, cool. Kamaru Usman for me as well. What I've actually seen from the Tyron Woodley fight is tactical. He knew how to take Tyron down. He knew what pressure he needed to put on Tyron. Thing that I liked, I know Tyron wasn't 100% for that fight, but he hit him with some strikes. Tyron Woodley is a striker. I think that Kamaru Usman's going to take this fight out. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's probably a decision fight because I think Kobe, I've actually liked what I've seen from him. So I think one thing that I'll actually take from that fight is that that he's got the energy to go all 5 rounds with Usman, and I just think Usman gets it on points. I think it's going to look dominant really in the last 2 rounds, and that's where it's actually going to be decided. So Usman for me.
You touched on a good point with that. The Usman Woodley fight was I don't think anyone predicted that it would be that one-sided or that dominant. I think Woodley fought. It seemed like he was fighting underwater, and a lot of people were saying that Woodley was out of that fight or he was injured or something. I genuinely do think it was that he was fighting the fighter that he was fighting. So I think a lot of people didn't give Usman enough credit for that fight. That was a really good fight as well.
Yeah, mate, we've got to back these Nigerian fighters along with our boy Izzy.
No, we don't. I think we're giving Usman too much credit. We are giving Usman too much credit. Tyrone Woodley was tuned into TMZ that whole fight, and the fact we're giving Usman any credit disgusts me.
15-1, mate.
15 trash cans and 1. It's like fighting SG 15 times and then taking a real fight.
Hey, Colby's 15-1 too.
Ooh.
15 hardcore fucks.
On that White House.
Wait, before the pod, I did show that photo of me, arm raised, victory, arm bar. See you later. 4-stripe white belt. Talk about it, baby. Put that up. I'll put that up on the Insta.
It was only a matter of time
We're down
before
to
Sean
46
started talking about
followers.
himself.
Down to 46, boys.
Put it up on that Insta, boys.
All right, guys, that rounds out UFC 245. Thanks for all your picks. That'll be interesting to see how that comes out on Sunday Australian
Daniel?
time. Yes, mate.
Could I just take a bit of time just to talk about something serious? Obviously, the Australian dollar hasn't been fantastic lately. The economy's been tough. And, I feel like it's my duty to kind of give back to the community of the Run It Back podcast. So, guys, I just want you last pay-per-view event, I feel personally responsible for anyone who took my pick as gospel.
Are you going to refund bets?
So I've done the hard yards for you guys. If you've lost faith, which I completely understand, feel free to go directly against every single one of my picks. On a multi, $5 pays you $930. So you're welcome.
Wow. Okay.
Wait, are you saying, though, that if they go against your tips and they lose, you're going to refund their bets?
No, he's saying they'll get $930 or a $5 bet.
I can't hear you, Sean. I'm sorry, I can't hear what you're saying.
Imagine if the
breaking up.
96 followers we got all go on it, and he's like, oh, that backfired quickly.
So Craig's number is 040.
Hit us up in the DMs, please, if you do get it on.
Yeah,
multi.
slide into those DMs if you jump on Craig's multi. Opposite multi. What do we call it? We call it an opposite multi. An anti-multi.
Can we just run through it really quickly?
What's your anti-multi again? We'll just get that for the listeners, mate.
Do you want me to get Craig up?
So you'd be going Uriah Faber,
Yep.
Jose Aldo,
Yep.
Jermaine Garanami,
Yep.
Alex Volkanovski,
Yep.
and then Kimura Usman.
Oh, God, that sounds like a good... That's a good multi.
Except for Nunez.
What is that? For
Take
$5, what's the
It's not
payout?
terrible.
900 and something.
It's $930. It's a 183 multi. I think Jermaine Garanami
Yeah,
throws out.
Jermaine's paying
But
like
Uriah
$28 or something, probably.
Yeah, you wouldn't. That Amanda
Uriah
Nunes.
Faber is a pretty heavy dog in his fight against Eddie Yarn. So he's a $5 underdog. So
Hey, maybe we'll do, for the gram, we'll chuck up each person's multi and the price, and for $5, how much you'd make?
Joe, well, let's
That'd be
do
awesome.
this. Let's do this. Let's everyone that likes a post about that about the anti-multi, we'll invest $1 into the multi, and then the
Into
amount
the anti-multi.
for the anti-multi, we'll put it up on Instagram.
We'll put them both up. Whoever likes the
Yeah,
most,
we'll put them
both
up,
on.
and then we'll invest that money based on the likes we get.
Okay, deal.
So
I love it.
if
Deal.
it's
I love
15 likes, we'll put $15 in. If it's 100 likes, we'll put $100 in. $100 in.
Dang.
Done.
Can I go a bit further? I might have to cut this out.
Yeah,
But if we get up, we'll donate it to the firefighters, considering the fires.
Absolutely.
In New
Boom.
South Wales, Victoria at the moment.
And SG, you know me, I'm not one to back down from a bet anytime, so I'm in.
Correct, false?
I'm in. You had me at bet.
yeah. So we'll do that, and we'll donate all the money to the New South Wales fire fighting
RFS, yeah.
the RFS.
Really,
so.
you got to share it because 15 likes equals $2,800.
Get on that.
The more likes,
Get
the
on
more
that.
dollars. Let's get on it.
Yeah. So
We'll go 50-50 with the firefighter.
yeah, we'll split it.
We'll donate.
There's a little bit of profit we're going to take back, boys, to keep the podcast running. So there's some admin costs that we're going to add on to that.
Yeah.
So
that postage and handling, boys.
we'll definitely donate some money. So
That sounds like a good idea.
yeah, that sounds a great idea, guys. Look, thank you so much. Card was good. Thanks for joining us for the 245 podcast. That wraps us up. Please share, like, comment, subscribe to the podcast because that really, really helps. Also, if you've got us on your social media platforms, please hunt us down on there and please send us a DM if you've got any advice or maybe you got something we want to do.
Questions,
we do
anything.
questions. We do a normal Run It Back podcast.
Slide in those DMs, baby.
Slide those DMs.
Maybe some suggestions for bets because we love a bet here on the Run It Back podcast. So if there's any suggestions on what could be the consequence, slide into those DMs.
Yeah, we might actually start getting them onto our Instagram and our social feeds once we actually have to do a bet. So if Shaunie's got a little nudie run or a little budgie smuggler run, sorry, not nudie, there's no dicks on this show. But if it's
What's
smudgy,
Stoney here?
I think that's 4 dicks. Yeah, man.
yeah, there's four dicks. There's four dicks. So the smudgy bugler run that Shaun managed to escape, but we'll get that on our Instagram. So if you've got things like that we want to actually do, you actually didn't lose that, Shaun. So
okay. Can't remember.
you're sweet. But
He did lose.
But if you've got things like that we should do and we're going to do in our bets, we're here for a bit of fun. It's not so serious here at the Run It Back podcast, but check us out. This is going to be a bit weird because we usually just do my name is Daniel, his name is Shaun, but we've got a few more guests on this time. So my name is Daniel.
My name is Snags.
I'm Sony.
And we've got the...
I'm Craig.
Yes, boy. Let's get it. So, guys, catch us on the next Run It Back podcast, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Have fun.